Hello, and welcome to an edition of In-Depth Alaska. And like many Alaskans, I love to travel. And so I was very excited when recently, just a couple days ago, Alaska Airlines announced that they are starting in 2025. They're going to start some direct routes from Seattle to a couple different places in Asia, particularly Tokyo and Seoul. And so, of course, when these things come up, I got to talk to the travel expert, the guy who knows what's going on and can help us out. So, Scott McMurran with travel with, oh my gosh, Scott, our travel expert. Scott, before we go on, you look a little tropical there.
Yeah, as we were talking earlier, Tracy, you're really eating into my afternoon refresco time here in Querétaro, deep in the heart of Mexico.
Well, that looks lovely, a lovely way to spend some when it's kind of gray and melting here in the Anchorage area. So let's talk about some of these new routes. What do we know about these new routes that Alaska Airlines has planned for 2025 going in the direction of Asia?
Sure, sure. So, as Alaska Airlines management mentioned, when the purchase went through for Hawaiian Airlines, they're going to use these wide bodies to to their best use. And so what they're doing is they're pulling a couple of them to Seattle, and they're going to run starting May 12th, of course, pending government approval. Alaska will operate a nonstop flight from Seattle to Tokyo's Narita Airport starting May 12th. Now, you mentioned Seoul. Okay, Seoul is on tap for October of 2025 into Seoul's Incheon Airport. Now, I've got to tell you, what is not so widely reported is that they're also going to be sending that Airbus A330 wide body aircraft with lie flat seats between Seattle and Anchorage. Okay, and
I'm
those
sorry,
flights are going
what?
to start twice a day. Yeah, twice a day starting June 12th between Seattle and Anchorage. You'll be able to fly Hawaiian Airlines, and if you get the upgrade, you could get a lie flat seat.
Wow, I did, you're right. I hadn't heard about that. I mean, it's not that
That's what I'm
terribly
here
long of a
for.
flout, but that is good to know. And now I've been to Korea a number of times in the last 13 months, and I'm going again in June. So unfortunately, I'm going to miss this. I'll just have to plan another route. Now, I'm not familiar with planes as you are. I've been flying international routes on Delta. Are the planes kind of similar? Are they comparable? Is that what we're going to be looking at when you talk about a wide body plane for an international flight?
Good question, Tracy. Here's the thing. Both Delta's A350s and their A330s, they're twin aisle aircraft, and typically, nine across, or if they're really greedy, it's 10 across. But but they're bigger. You got a little bit more room up above, and it's a nicer ride. So the idea that Alaska Airlines is going to use Hawaiian's jets between Anchorage and Seattle twice a day between June 12th and August 20th. That's an upgrade for us.
That sounds wonderful. Well, talking about travel, we're in the middle of the holiday season. I traveled over Thanksgiving and, it was just a little bit crazy. Do you have any travel tips for people that are planning to travel for the rest of this holiday season? What's your best tip?
Well, sure. I got a few of them. First of all, plan ahead. Get the app on your phone so you can get the mobile boarding pass. Or if you're nervous about that, print it out at the airport when you check your bags. I would consider bringing your own food. Either make it yourself and wrap it up, or get it at the airport, and also fill up your water bottle before you get on board. Just because I have no faith in the onboard product anymore. Too much disappointment there. But also take an external battery block, external battery, and also an external light. I wear the headlamp. My kids won't fly with me when I wear that, but hey, I don't care. Because the lights and the power sockets tend to go out. when I need them most. And then one other thing, the must-fly accessory for me, Tracy, is really good headphones, because there's just a lot of noise in the air, especially during the holidays. Planes are full, people are cranky, people, or maybe they're just noisy. But the headphones really help block that out. You can turn the music up on your iPhone. It really makes a difference.
And so I'm assuming that at this point we're not looking at any, there are probably not any deals through the holidays, but I know that if you are traveling, I've traveled like on Christmas Day or on New Year's Eve, and those actually tend to be a little bit quieter because people are already at their destinations.
Oh, sure. If you haven't, but here's the thing. You mentioned, is there a way to, get those last few flights in to, get that next status tier rather on Alaska Airlines? Um, you can do it. The flights run every day, and there are seats on most of them. You're just going to be paying a lot. On balance, you're going to be paying a lot. Don't hold out for Christmas Day. Don't hold out for any deals. Maybe New Year's Eve. Who knows? But if you haven't made those plans by now, you're just going to be paying a lot of money.
Yeah, that was my question. So if you're within, like for me, I'm getting pretty close to actually being MVP Gold, which I've never hit before. Is it worth it? Is that little bit of a change in elite status worth it to do like a last minute flight to Seattle to get those last 4,000 miles?
I mean, I did it. I flew to Kansas City. I made up a story that I was researching my grandparents' history for a book I'm working on, but it was really a mileage run. And so I got an extra, 3,000, 6,000 elite qualifying miles. So here's the deal. The difference between MVP and MVP Gold, I think it's worth it, but you got to understand, I mean, you got to do the comparison yourself, um, because it's your money. It's your money, and if it's going to cost you, you know, if it's going to cost you $1,000, are you going to be doing a lot of traveling? That's a decision each and every person needs to make. I can't answer that for you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I've just between now and the end of the year, I looked at some of those flight tickets, and because everybody's already got their stuff booked, that it's
Yeah,
a little bit
yeah, and
pricey
that's why
right
the
now.
fares are so high, because everybody's doing their mileage run.
That's exactly what it is. And we did get a question, from the Facebook. Why do we not have any direct flights from Alaska? I know we used to have some direct flights to Asia and to the UK. What's happened with that over? It's been a while, I know, but why don't we have those direct flights anymore?
Well, we don't have the direct flights because Russia really liked having the revenue from the overflights, which they didn't permit, which is the reason Anchorage became the air crossroads of the world. All the flights between Europe and Asia stopped in Anchorage. That went away with the fall of the Berlin Wall, and there are other issues now. But the short answer, Tracy, is the market isn't there. Okay, Anchorage enjoys air service for a city of 1 million people, much better we get much better air service. Um, the nonstop flights that we've seen between Asia and Alaska within the last 10 years, basically before COVID, were started in Asia, and they were charters bringing travelers to see the Northern Lights, and also during the summer. Those really haven't popped up again since COVID. And I know that there was a lot of chatter with Raven Alaska and New Pacific Airways, but that's what that is.
Yeah, it makes total sense. But that's an interesting point that we do enjoy air travel, a bulk of it to a city bigger than the size that we actually are. So that is interesting.
True story.
Okay, anything else before we let you go, guy? Because we want to give you time to
Yeah.
lay in the sun.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, sign up for the newsletter. It's free, alaskatravelgram.com. And, I mean, I churn and burn and watch those airfares pretty closely. So if you're a traveler and you want that information, I'm here to serve.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm taking your advice of earn and burn my Alaska Airlines miles, and getting some good use out of my travel miles this year.
That's great. That's great. You know, and you still, even before, when you go in May to Seoul, you can still fly an Alaska Airlines partner, either Japan Airlines or Korean Airlines, or even Starlux. Through Taipei, you can get elite qualifying miles and get to Seoul. But I know it's going to be a big deal. There's a lot of demand for those Seattle Seoul flights, which is why Alaska Airlines is aiming for that.
Well, I am very excited about that, and I know a lot of Alaskans are interested as well. So thank you very much, Scott. Go off and enjoy the rest of your holiday. It looks lovely down there. I'm quite jealous. I can practically feel the warmth.
Today was the feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe, the patron saint of Mexico. And so I was going to say, if you hear fireworks in the background or church bells, it's because the whole town is a big fat party. And that's like the run up to Christmas, or I will leave you with that phrase, Feliz Navidad y Prospero Año Nuevo.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much. Bye. So thank you all for joining us as well. Scott is enjoying his time, and this gives you a little bit of an idea of what we can expect from some Alaska Airlines flights, and of course, a few good travel tips that Scott has. He said, take an extra battery block. Don't forget your headphones, and he likes to travel with a headlamp as well, though he says it kind of embarrasses his children as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Have yourself a great Thursday.